Are you pushing yourself so hard that your life is completely falling apart? Let's talk about that. Okay, Mike, I came up with this because a few weeks ago I played in a softball tournament. And these tournaments, I'm 47 now. I'm not 27. These tournaments can be really long and gruesome. And I love softball. I love softball. I'm playing as much as I can. But this tournament killed me. It was too much, too many games. By the end of this tournament, 3-day tournament, our team was exhausted. We were falling apart. We weren't making the plays. We were throwing to the wrong bases. We were making errors. People were not swinging very well. We're all sore. I could barely throw the ball. I'm like, this is too, and we just wanted to go home. It was just too much. And it got me thinking, like in life, we have these situations and these times where we push and push and push, even on good things. We push and we are so exhausted and we are so at the end of our rope that our life just falls apart. All the systems that we put in place just fall apart. Our finances fall apart. Our character falls apart. Our discipline falls apart. Do you have things like this? Have you seen this or done this at all?
Certainly, in myself and others. Uh, I'll ask a question to the audience. Have you ever pushed the limits of your money or your monthly payments, right? Those debt payments?
Mm.
I've been there. I have pushed and like, oh yeah, I got an extra $300 a month. Yeah, I can do this. But then you just signed up for a 5 or 7 year car loan. That was an extra three, and today is probably extra $500 or $700 a month. But you felt good. And you could do that for 6 months, 9 months, 12 months. And then something else happens. Maybe you break an arm and you got to cut your hours at work, or you can't do that other extra side hustle. That hit home because that happened to me. I was on my last debt payment. I was actually aggressively paying off my debt. So aggressively, I actually went against our 5 steps to financial freedom, went below my starter emergency fund of $1,000, paid off the debt, 1 week. It was like 7 to 10 days early. I paid it off early because I was being aggressive. Then I fractured my elbow. I didn't even know you could fracture an elbow. Fractured it, so I had to go to get X-rays and do the doctor and the visits like that. I didn't have any money to eat for the next 7 days, so I was bumming off my roommates until my next paycheck came. So I could have waited literally 1 to 2 weeks later and been perfectly fine. Probably not fractured my elbow because I didn't need to have a lesson taught to me by the universe or God and been okay.
Yeah.
That's one example. Another example is recently I've started contracting as an engineer. And for me, I agreed to do 1 week a month. It's travel intensive. You're potentially working outside. You're working wearing heavy clothing. It's summertime in the US right now, and it's hot. It's dangerous. I was like, yeah, 1 week a month is good. And then I get talked into 2 weeks, which was fine. But I was like, I don't really like this. And I was like, I don't want to do this again. So I signed and I said, I can only do 1 week a month. Then my boss, he asked me to do 2 weeks. And he pulled at the heartstrings because it was allowing someone else to travel that works with us, another contractor to travel back home. And I knew him. I liked him. I wanted to give him that benefit. So I agreed to that. And I'm trying something new. So in the past, when I've done 2 weeks away, L hasn't been with me. So this time, L's coming with me. So we're going to try it differently. Now, after this next stint, these next 2 weeks, then I'll know, was it because L wasn't there, or was it because I just don't want to do work 2 50, 60 hour weeks back to back? Right. So I will know if I enjoy pushing it that hard. And it's kind of funny because we're only talking about 2 weeks a month, right? I'm now in that position to be able to have that flexibility because in the past, that was not the case. I was trying to do 60 hours a week every week, not even taking vacations or holidays, just trying to get all this money that I could because I didn't have a clear direction. And I could see how that over 5, 10, 20, 40 years for some people of how that's going to just not end well, even physically for their body, but mentally, your spirit's broken and you just have no money or nothing to show for it.
Yeah, we see it all the time. I mean, we know it intuitively, and we see people, we're stressed to the max as a culture, especially in the Western world. We are driven by money. We are driven by our jobs and our careers, and we are driven by productivity, where we have to be producing at all costs at all times, weekends, nights, holidays, right? All the things. And it's like a sense of pride where it's like, I work 60 hours, I work 70 hours, I work weekends, I work on Sundays, I work on holidays. Like that's actually not bragging to me anymore. It used to be.
Mm.
But now I'm like, oh, I'm sorry for you that you feel like
Yeah.
you have to work 7 days a week. You have to work 60, 70, 80, 100 hours a week because you make multiple millions of dollars a year. Like, I'm sorry that that's your life. That's
Mm.
not, that doesn't sound appealing, right? And I can see the stress. I can see the worry. I can see the toll it's taking on these people. And now, again, like some people enjoy it and thrive in it, and that's, fine for them. But like for me, it doesn't really look good. But even in the good things, even in the things that we think is amazing, like vacations and parties and things like that, you can push yourself to where your life falls apart. Like we started this idea of like, are you pushing yourself so hard that your life is falling apart, right? Chaotic, stressful, all that kind of stuff. I mean, Mike, you even have an example of that just last year, isn't it?
Oh, I mean, yes, our life is one huge holiday to some people, right? People just view us as that's all we do is just travel. And yes, that's what people see. That's what we do. We do that. But last year was a lot. And what you're talking about is last year we got the opportunity to work hard, but also travel hard. And we got to travel the world. We added a few more countries to our list that we hadn't been to. And it was a very fun year. But towards the end of it, it was just like, oh, man, I'm done moving. I'm done flying. I'm done taking a ferry, a boat ride. I've seen enough mosques. I don't need to see another one. I've learned what I needed to learn. I needed a break. And that was interesting because we felt that together, both Elle and I, because we're traveling together. And we now know when we go overseas and take full advantages of opportunities, we're going to stay in one place for longer. And for us, that's could be 3 or 5 or 10 days in one place without moving. That's what that means to us.
Yeah, you were able to learn from that. We kind of had the same thing when we took our road trip across the country. We moved for 11 days. We moved every night except for one city in Denver. We stayed for 2 nights. Every other night for that 11 days, we were moving every night because we were actually traveling across the country. We had a purpose and we needed to get across the country. But we discovered we didn't like that. It was like it's
Mm,
too much. It's too chaotic. It's to hotels, to Airbnbs, to
mm,
resort, to this and to that. Ugh, no, no, thank you. So we're like, yeah, if we can help it, unless we're taking a road trip from one destination to the next, and we have to be there, like let's settle in at least a couple times for multiple nights. Right? It's just so much better for us. We're not grumpy and grouchy all the time, and we're not stressed out, and we're not sore from the different beds all the time. So, you know, we talk about this, especially in the Western world, is that everybody's always living at their red line, we call it sometimes.
mm,
And what the language that Ange and I have used lately is building in margin. And we do the same thing with finances. So you can do this with life, your schedule, your kids, your jobs, your vacations, all of the things. But with your money too, like build in some margin. That's why Mike and I talk about this all the time. And in that 5 steps of financial freedom, you build in the margin for those things that maybe you don't even see coming, right? That's why
mm,
we have an emergency fund, but also building in the things that you can see coming that a lot of us don't plan for, right? I call that anticipation funds, right? New phone, new computer, vacation, upgrading your car, doing a house project, right? All these things you have to build in that financial margin so that you're not always living at that red line. In Mike's case, like one little thing happens and your entire financial life falls apart. That's not how you really want to live, right? That's just going to create stress and cause stress. So we would say in life and in finances, you want to build in that margin, right? And that means taking it a little bit slow sometimes. That means saying no to some things for for goodness sakes. Like sometimes we have to say no, and that can be okay and a good thing. So we can say, you know what? I really like to do that trip, but right now I'm a little stressed about money. Maybe I push that back a little bit, or maybe I don't do it at all because I don't want that stress. I don't want to always live at that red line financially and schedule wise and all that.
Yeah. And as a reminder, I wanted to, or if you're new here, I want to tell you what those 5 steps to financial freedom are. The first one being a starter emergency fund. This is a minimum of $1,000, a maximum of 1 month's expenses. That's step one. Step two is to pay off all of your debt except for your mortgages. Step three is to go back to that starter emergency fund and have a fully funded emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses. Number four is now you're going to save at least 10% of your income for retirement for the future self, but no more than 20% because we want you to get to step five, which is to pay off your house early. So those are the 5 steps that Jason and I have come up with that have worked for us to put us in the position of when life does get hard, we have that margin. We have the margin to, for me, to not work 4 weeks a month, to choose to do 2 weeks a month, to choose to go to 1 week a month. And then there's some months that I don't do any contract work. And that's perfectly okay because we've set that margin up and created that life that you can too.
Yeah. And we teach this, the 5 steps to financial freedom. We teach building margin in. We teach you how to get organized. So if you need to get organized with your money, pay off your debt, learn to save and invest, we have online courses. We have the budgeting and debt elimination course, and we have the investing course that will give you these philosophies, these principles to go from fully stressed out, living in the red line to a place where you do have that margin. And you say, wow, you know what? I've got my life under control. I got my finances under control. I'm living within my means and I'm saving for the future and I have a plan for retirement. Like all of these things we have available. So check those out for sure. And then comment below and let us know, are you living in the margin? Are you living in that building in that margin, or are you living at your red line and always stressed out and always worried about life and money?
We look forward to serving you in the future.